Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to Sunday Comics with John's Long Box. Are we getting echoes over here? You guys hear echoes? Let me try to fix this. It's going to drive me crazy, but I'm sure you can't hear it. Hold on one second. Hello, hello, hello. So how you doing? Okay, you guys don't hear any echoes? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Hello, hello, hello? Okay, I think I got rid of the echoes. All right, cool. Sound check. Looks check. Beard check. All right, cool. Sorry about that. I stayed up a little way too late last night, and then of course, after I stayed up too late, I played a video game to keep my mind off my active campaign. But since I brought it up, we got Heroic Tales #1. It's on Fund My Comic right now. I had a really good first 2 days. I made $1,000 a day. So let's keep that up for the next 119 days. Let's keep that up. That would be awesome. But thank you guys. I was so nervous. I tried to be cool and upbeat and everything like that, but I was having like bad dreams. My stomach was hurting. But we had a good launch. Just thank you so much. And I know you guys will like the comic. It's made with love. It's the first comic is an easy entry into my world. It's get your toes wet. My world will scale up with every issue. I've been giving out teasers. If you watch all my videos, I pretty much gave the names of titles for like the first 6 issues or so. Well, let's talk about that. The comic is going to be Flip Comics from now on. So, I've been talking about the Patriarch now for months and months and months, and I've seen fan art, and people are telling me they really like the concept. They really like the idea, and so do I. Don't get me wrong. I love the Patriarch. And then I was going to do issue 2 with another character, and I started to see like some people's faces were like, that's not a good idea. And I was like, you know what? They're right. It to me, that would be like bait and switch. Get everybody excited about a character, then they wait months for a character, and then the second issue is somebody else. They would have to like get reintroduced all over again. So for going forward, my comic will be a flip book. So this side, a flip book has 2 covers. So this will be the cover, and then when you flip it over, it'll have another front cover. And one side will be the Patriarch, Heroic Tales featuring the Patriarch, and they'll have a full complete story. And then when you flip it over, it's going to have the other characters whose stories I would like to tell. And the goal is to spin them off into their own comics if I could actually, make enough money to do that. Let's be realistic here. So there we go. So issue #2 will have the Patriarch. It has a story that I was going to tell later. I'm pulling it in now, but I'm also going to tell the origin of Mary Sue. Issue #3 will have the origin of the Patriarch, and then another character that I don't want to spoil. So, and then if there's a stretch goal, I will have a third short story of Unheroic Tales, which will talk about some of the villains and their origins, and some of the Unheroic Tales might even be about some of the civilians in my stories. I don't want to spoil anything. So let's address the chat. I'm in Central Time and almost messed up catching it. Man, Marcus, you've been traveling a lot. Where are you? I know Marcus had a death in the family and he had to travel. Then he was up in New York. Man, you are a traveling man. No echo. Good. Yeah, I solved it. I'm using my phone camera and logging in, and then this, but I don't have any microphone, so there was a little bit of an echo. So then I had a brainstorm. I have these headphones that I wear at work or when I'm commuting, because I take the train at 5 o'clock in the morning to work, and I can't stand when people turn on their phone and they're watching videos. I don't want to be that guy, so I put these on wireless speakers. I put these on and I listen to Chuck Dixon or Brian Bow's videos or Fabrizio Aiello or Tonic Bowl, whatever videos I'm watching. Sometimes I watch my own videos to see if I was a jerk. and then or sometimes just people are talking so loud, I put on some music just to cancel out. Because I like to sleep on the train. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can put these on. Everything's coming through here, and then I just put that far away, and you know what? It worked. It worked. So now I'm able to do this. So no fancy schmancy stuff for me. As cheap as possible, because I'm computer illiterate. Marcus can hear me. Thank you. Hale, you know, Zach Fan is just like, he should get like an award for like showing up. Is that a new microphone? I just explained that. Alex Gordon. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, Alex. How's everything? How's everything going? Everybody's addressing each other. It would be nice to read something made from love instead of mainstream spite. Oh God, Zach Tan. Yesterday, my wife, I was like, I told my wife, let's go out. Let's go out for dinner. So we went out for like a late lunch, early dinner. What would that be? Brenner? We went out for Brenner. Dunch. I like Dunch better. We went out for Dunch and Drunch. Yeah, we went out for Drunch. And David Ennison, the next commenter, he would know. Lucia's on Middle Country Road. Oh my God, David, you got to go. That's my favorite restaurant. Oh my God, that's so good. And I went there, got some food, and I was just saying how, you know, I've been collecting Marvel, DC, Image, you know, whatever for my whole life. Well, not obviously Image, but I've been collecting these comics my whole life. In 2015, I quit. And then in 2015, I was complaining. I think I complained from 2015 to 2018. Probably even later. Just complaining all the time. And then I was like, I'm tired of complaining. So I just sat and suffered in silence, started this channel, and I was like, I'm going to be positive because I don't want to be negative. And then I'm like, you know what? I see other people making comics, you know, and I see people who aren't artists, because Brian Bao draws, Fabrizio Aiello draws, Tonic Mold draws, Edith the Mad Skyver draws, you know, so they're doing their own stuff. But like, then I saw like Richard Meyer and guys like that are hiring artists. I could, you know, and then the final good straw that broke the camel's back in a good way was RJ from the Fourth Age. You know, he can't draw, and he got a wonderfully drawn comic. He got Renzo Rodriguez. So I was like, I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring, and it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money. I haven't recouped my money yet, you know, and that is a realistic concern. I can't lay out money every issue. I could do it once, but let me take a sip of my delicious Tim Hortons coffee. So if I can recoup my money, there will be an issue too, you know, and I'm doing it because it's fun, you know. But the last week, man, all of the stress, because it became, you know, up until last week, it was just fun. It was drawing, getting artwork, getting the artwork colored, and, you know, watching my story come to life and talking to people about it. And then all of a sudden, it became, will people buy this? You know, will my dream die? That was more. And, you know, let's be realistic. I want as many people as possible to look at and read my comic. I want as many as people as possible to pay for my comic. But as selfish as it sounds, I want to be able to keep doing it because it's just so much fun. So, you know, that's I'm just, you know, still so nervous. What do we got here? Oh, Pete Rock. Hey, Pete Rock, my buddy Pete. Thank you for backing, Pete. Pete was on my channel a few times. We talked about Daredevil. We talked about music. Cool. You think the Patriarch and other characters will team up for bigger threats? Yes. Just like the Marvel movies introduced the characters in their standalone movies, my comics are introducing the characters in standalone stories. And I want every issue to be self-contained. So going forward, there will be two. The first comic is a long Patriarch story, and then a small unheroic tale story featuring Lucius Kane, who you don't know it from the story, but it's not a big spoiler because you'll know by issue 2. Lucius Kane is the mayor of Science City, the city that for the most part the stories will take place in. Some of them will be in Manhattan, some of them will be, you know, I don't want to spoil, but some of them will be other cities, other real cities, just like DC has Metropolis and Manhattan and things like that. So Lucius Kane is the mayor of Science City. He's a bad guy. And I just, you know, that's a no-brainer. You got to have an evil politician. You got to have an evil industrialist. You got to have an evil religious figure. And you got to have, you know, a religious, an evil military guy. These are just comic book standards, so I will have all of those. So Lucius Kane will learn his origin, and then in issue 2, his origin is set in like 1999, and then second issue it'll be set in the present, which is 2024. So to answer your question, Zach Tan, I'm introducing the characters, and then the team will form, but I didn't want to debut the team and then nobody cares, and then they fight Thanos, and you're like, okay, who are these guys? What can they handle? Like in the very first issue, I'm introducing some of the weaknesses within the Patriarch. He looks like Superman, and last night I was laying in bed and I actually thought of this. The Patriarch looks like Superman. He's got the cape and everything like that, and Superman. It's my first comic, and then I realized Superman was the first superhero. Like, did I unconsciously tap into that my first comic book is a Superman type guy, but he's not a Superman type guy? You'll see. You'll see by issue 3. You'll understand what the Patriarch's up about. Marcus Kilgore, I'm helping out my cousin Pavlov Media with installing fiber to. Oh, okay. You're in Illinois. Cool, man. You're just traveling a lot. Good morning, Agent Zero. Good morning, Justin. Justin has a fun comic called Chrome Dog. Justin, could you get Chrome Dog on Fun My Comic? And if so, send Marcus the link, or Haldir the link, and we'll throw it in here. It's about comic books. It's not about me. It's not about Justin. It's about Chrome Dog. It's about the Patriarch. It's about the X-Men. That's what it's about. And thank you, Agent Zero. Thank you, Justin. It's again, I could feel some stress leaving, and I could see new stress. I got to be realistic, and I try to be as transparent as possible. I'm going to be stressful until I make enough money to make issue 2. Jimmy, sorry we missed dinner. Love the idea of a slow introduction to the other characters. Jimmy, for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, Jimmy's my buddy. Jimmy, and I met Jimmy in 3rd grade. He's my role-playing partner. The funny thing is, Jimmy made up Lucius Kane. In a very real sense, it's his character. We play role-playing games, and Jimmy made up Lucius Kane, and he came up with the idea his name was going to be The Suit, and he was going to be, I forget if he was going to be, he was going to be like a corporate executive, an evil corporate executive. And I think we only did one adventure with The Suit, because it's a great idea for an NPC. It's a poor idea for a character, because it's basically a guy pushing papers and ordering people around to do other things. So we kind of made the idea that the Suit would be a bad guy, but we would throw little things. But the Suit's power is whatever he needs is in his Suit's pocket. He finds an evil suit. And here's the funny thing: Jimmy loves to role play. So I forget if Jimmy came up with the idea of the power, or if I came up with the idea of the power. I think it was Jimmy. So, but I just put whatever he needed in his pocket, and then it was up to Jimmy to figure out what to do with it. I thought it was fun. So that character will be introduced. And Jimmy, if I make it to a couple of issues, I will have Jimmy. Me and him will work together and write some stories too. So my friend Mike wrote his own comic based on our adventures. So that's set in the Heroic Tales universe. That was Marshall Stone. That just closed today. It was on Kickstarter. I think that's going to be a 6-issue series. And when he's with Dan Sen, Argo 5 Comics. I think when he's done with his obligation with them, I'm going to bring him over to here. We'll like do a little cleanup, to get my letterer to clean up some of the lettering, and we'll offer them hopefully on my website. That's my goal, is to have my own Heroic Tales store where you can buy all my stuff. I'd like to have t-shirts and stuff, but that's if you guys like it. I love it, but I got big dreams, but shallow pockets. Let's link it like that. Hail. Jonas Olson. How you doing, Jonas? Good to see. I love seeing new names. Thank you, everybody. Alex, that's great. Story is important. Yes. Yes, I got so much feedback from people that I trust. I sent out the scripts. They gave me some wonderful feedback. Everything that I've done in my entire life, I've been asking for help. I'm not that pure ego guy that could do it all. But I ask for help. I ask for input. I listen to advice. I listen to input. And believe it or not, a few people have been asking me to read their scripts, and I give them, so it's all about helping. It's about making the best comic book pop. It's not about me. Let's be realistic. We got realistic concerns. We have to make money. We have to sell comics. You know what I mean? If I was independently wealthy, I would make these comics and pay my artists and release them into the wild free, but I'm not. But it's about comic books. It's about making good comic books, and making good comic books is a business. We got to be realistic. The American suspicion of big guys, big government, big business was because we traditional value. Yes. Oh my God. Zach Kent. Perfect. I'd like to take this quote, put it right on my comic, because to me, the patriarch represents individuality. He is the American individual do-it-yourself attitude. And yes, it's easy to do it when you have superpowers. Yes, it's a comic book after all. So the patriarch, as you will see, his wife and children live on a farm. They're homesteaders. They raise their own food. They get their own water. Patriarch doesn't have a job. When you have superpowers, you can fly and all this stuff. He has super senses. He can find mineral. At one point you're going to see he finds sunken treasures, that nobody claims, and he's wealthy. At one point you're going to see he's going to go into a room and there's just going to be currency from all over the world, gold and things like that. So his family wants for nothing, but at the same time they work on the farm. The kids don't know that he's wealthy, so things like that. His wife homeschools the 7 kids, and also that's going to be a bone of contention and a future issue as the kids get older. They want to, you're a 19-year-old boy, you're living on the farm, you want to go out, you want to sow your wild oats, and that's going to be like Dad, because you really can't leave their farm without the ability to fly. There's no roads there because that's part of a story. There's a reason for that. So one of the kids is like, Dad, am I a prisoner here? Am I allowed to leave? And that's, I think every dad has that. Do I do this? How much freedom do I allow? Thing in a world where there's actual psychopath supervillains hunting after your family. And I'm giving away too much, guys. Buy the Chrome Dog #1, Perfect Strangers. Thank you, Marcus. Good. Everybody is such helps. Everybody is such good helps. Dave Edison, the what was the name of the character? The Remord. Dave is in our group. If you look at our video of B&B role playing, I think it's broken into 4 sections. You can see Jimmy, and you can see Dave playing with. It's so much fun. We got to do it again. In the words of John McClane, welcome to the party, pal. I just saw Die Hard for the first time a couple of months ago in the movie theater. You have to do laundry. So do I. After this, I'm doing laundry. So is Jimmy already seeking legal advice? Yes. Jimmy could get whatever he wants. You want money, Jimmy? How you doing? I'll give you a free Heroic Tales coin, because as of right now there'll be no money. I haven't made a dime yet. $2,000 has not recouped the cost of making the comic. Don't tell my wife. So there's no profits. Marcus, thank you. You're welcome. Genuine Comics, Epic X-Men Run, good times. Genuine Comics. This is Dave Brink. Just talked to Dave Brink on Wednesday. He's making one of my favorite comics. Like, I'm not even Comicsgate, not even crowdfunding, just one of my favorite comics. It's called Perfect 10. I actually said it right for the first time because I have a super team in my comic called they're the top 5. And he has a comic called Perfect 10. So I keep saying the top 10 because of whatever. But it's the Perfect 10. And she's a perfect 10. She's a knockout, and it's a great comic. It's great art. It's 90s Image Comics done right. It's got great art. It looks like that J. Scott Campbell artwork. And it's got that great Daniel De La Silva Rodriguez coloring, who also colored my comic. I asked Dave, I was like, can I get his contact information? And everybody's been helpful, everybody's been helpful. I haven't battled with ego. I mean, I'm small potatoes, so maybe someday I'll get haters and other comic creators want to drag me down. But as of right now, everybody's been so helpful. Gotta run, birthday to plan. Hail, John, backing your book, next page. Oh, thank you. And Marcus beat me to the punch. GenuineComics.com. Yeah. Are you going to set a stretch goal for the break-even point? I have stretch goals right. You know what? I might as well just bring up the campaigns. Does anybody mind if I bring up the campaign for a second or two? Talk about it, since I gotta be realistic, and so let's genuine. Thanks, Mark. No money. Only thing it needs to continue. Yeah. Jimmy is chomping at the bit to play V&V. Jimmy has been playing with me. Since the early '80s. I mean, we were little kids, like just hanging out and playing, and geez, I can't. I just lost train of thought. And Jimmy likes to role play. Like, I remember once we played a game, and there was no combat. It was just, and I was like, this is fun. Like, yes, it's a superhero game, so there's got to be combat, because it's superheroes. But you know how the X-Men will have this big story arc, and then the next issue is just them playing baseball or whatever. We had like a story like that. So we actually do a lot of solo adventures, because I had a group in Queens. That group fell apart over crazy reasons that I don't want to get into. I'm in a good mood. So the band broke up. And then Jimmy moved out here. When I moved out here, he happened to move. I don't know, because he missed me. So I like to think that's just because Jimmy missed me so much. So he moved like 10 minutes away, and we play. But the past couple of weeks, I've been in promotion mode. I've been finishing up artwork mode and trying to do everything for this campaign. So I've been neglecting playing V&V. But we got to. Jimmy, how about next Friday? Right? Next Friday, we'll play. Jimmy has a solo character who's like a Doctor Strange character, a magician. Oh, what a great story. I would like to incorporate I am incorporating his character into Heroic Tales with Jimmy's help and permission. But where to start this crazy adventure? It's just awesome. Jimmy has two characters that are novel worthy. Red O'Grady, who I will be putting in a story. In ways I don't want to spoil it. And then Jimmy's character is called Dick Dante. He's a magician. He started out as a fraud, and now he's on his way to. Jimmy played this character for 5 years in real time as a magician who couldn't cast a spell because he was a fraud, and now he's working his way to becoming a magician. It's just so much fun, And then he got trapped in the past, and he changed his name to Milton Paradise because he doesn't want anybody to know. And now it was like Madman. He's walking around in the '60s, and he's slowly making his way back up to modern times. It's ridiculous, but so are comics. So let's look at my campaign. I got 73 backers. I raised $2,244, raised in one day. I put the goal as $1,000 because $1,000. If I only made $1,000, I'd be crying because the comic cost way more than that. But I was on Michael Bancroft, and I wanted to fund in that hour, so I was pretty confident, and it worked. That it was just propaganda. Yeah, we funded all on Michael Bancroft. He was like all happy. It worked out good. Just trying to whip up. This isn't the focus. Just trying to whip up genuine enthusiasm. So, but I still gotta go. I'm not quite there yet to make issue 2. So let's scroll down to this. You asked, will there be a stretch goal for funding the next issue? These are the only stretch goals I have is cards. So we're going to unlock the first card, I hope soon, at $3,000, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is really where I need to be. I need to be at 8,000 to make the next issue, because a good 40% of this 8,000 is just for shipping. So I don't get to keep that. I don't get to use that to make the next comic. So raising 8,000 is really raising 5,000, and that's what it costs to make a comic book, for me at least. So these are the stretch goals. If I make it to 10,000, I will have another stretch goal. I have a couple of ideas. I've been joking around saying if I make it to 100,000, if you're gonna dream big, right? If I make it to 100,000, I would like to have like Brian Bow and Tonic Bowl and Fabrizio Aiello and Rini, and Vaughn Coleman all come to my house and make up their characters. And of course, Jimmy's got to play. And Renzo will be the patriarch, Renzo the artist, and we'll actually have like a weekend long video. I'll see if my buddy Roy will record it, and make like a Critical Role type role playing game. I could dream, right? It's about dreams. And I know Jimmy would love to play. I know he would love to play with all these guys and their characters. So that's so if I get all 6 cards, that's the point where I'm actually funding. So that's why I hope it goes. So guys, if Shadowpunk has been so good, so good about retreating and everything. So Jimmy wanted to play some V&V this weekend, and I wanted to play too. My wife was like, you gotta have people over and interact with people face to face. You've been on that computer, but I gotta promote. So okay, Zactan's been so good. We need the link. The link to this. How's that? Your fish is my command. Yeah, we need the link. So back. So here we had $10 you could get the comic, $25 you could get 3 copies of the comic, $6 you get the digital. I noticed that a few people overseas are getting the digital. So yeah, I understand shipping is I can't control that. $20 you could get this wonderful pint glass and a comic. For $10 you could get this variant cover. Roderick, oh my god, this is only on Fund My Comic. This will only be on Fund My Comic. When I go to Kickstarter and Indiegogo, I will have other variant covers that I don't think I showed yet. You can get 3 of the variant covers. These are selling. People are buying these, and then the variant in the pint glass, $20 you can get both covers. This is by far my most popular, I think. 2 covers in a pint glass. And then this was the only problem was this coin that I made. This is an actual picture of the coin. The coin is it's this size. I'll show you another coin. Can you see this? This is the size of the coin. I used this company before. It's expensive. It takes forever. And here, that's the size of the coin. And when it came on, it wasn't adding. There was a glitch. So for the first 15 hours, nobody was able to get the coin. So I made an announcement. The coin's $5. The shipping is built in. So if anybody wants the coin and already backed, you could just go back in and back the coin tier reward. And when we assemble everything, we'll just put the coin in with your comic book. It's not going to change the shipping. It's it's just $5 flat. So we had 5 people coming back for the coin. So I apologize for that. That was so far the only hiccup. And if that's the only hiccup, then I consider myself blessed. And here's the homestead. I love this. I can't stop looking at this artwork. I just realized I'm not sharing. Oh God. I've been talking about for 5 minutes and I'm not even sharing. Okay, so here are the tiers. Here's the coin. And I'm still not sharing. Oh, there we go. Let's. There we go. Let me hide all the comic. I'm sorry, guys. I never claimed to be good. So here's the coin. Here's the patriarch with his family, his wife down here. These are all his oldest daughter, his oldest son. They're twins. Then these 2 are twins, and then younger kids. Twins running the wife's family. Look at this. That's my favorite piece of artwork I did. No offense to anybody else. Here's the regular cover. This cover will be on all platforms, but the variant cover will be exclusive to each platform. And I have Michael T. Gilbert, who will be on Kickstarter, and I have Mike Gustovich, who will be on Indiegogo. This is Boss Moxie. The first trading card will be the Patriarch. The second trading card will be Boss Moxie. And then the third, fourth, and fifth will be the girls. And then the 6th trading card will be the main villain, who I did not reveal yet. I think Jimmy's one of the only people. Look at that. there's the coin, there's the pint glass, and then the cards. So we got the first card will be the Patriarch, Boss Moxie, the three girls, and then the main villain. So his wife is hot. It's a comic book. I even said it in the description when I sent it to Renzo. I said, make her. She's got to be beautiful. She's got to be sexy. It's a comic book. Yes, the daughters are beautiful. The boys are handsome. The sons. It's a comic book. Attractive features. So, and I can't figure out how to make this bigger, but you see that she's scarred. She has scars over her body. That's part of the reason why they are hiding, is because supervillains. The Patriarch, when he got his powers in public. That'll be in issue 3. You'll see the origin, and because of that, he was susceptible to supervillain attack, and supervillains are crazy, So that's it. Dave says it looks great. Zachtan, there you are. Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I was sharing. I'm just crazy. Can you bring up the Fun My Comic page on the screen? I'm not seeing it. Yes. I was so into explaining that I didn't realize it. Here you go. And here's the link. You can click on this link and back. Guys, it's so much fun. Oh, the Patriarch piece looks good. You know what? Let me go to Twitter and see. So while you're looking at this beautiful picture, which I consider it's not just one of my favorite pieces on my comic. It's just one of my favorite pieces in comics. So let's look at Marcus Kelligrew. I'm going to Twitter right now. Sign in again. What happened? What's going on? All right, guys. I got to sign in. I forgot my password, so I'm not going to be doing that. I'll figure all that stuff out later. So, all right. So, let's get back to this. All right. So let's actually start the show. Just curious, which platform? I'm only doing one at a time. Right now, it's exclusive to Fund My Comic. I'm doing it for a variety of reasons. I'm doing it because I believe in Fund My Comic. Lucas Stone is a great guy. The story that I'm telling right now is the absolute truth. Is I got Luke's phone number, and you can hear my voice is cracking from talking all weekend. I got Luke's. Luke is the owner of Fund My Comic. It's only like 9 months old, and it's got a couple of bugs, but he's working on it. Let me turn the light around. Get some light over here, and when I updated the picture of the coin to the thing, the page needed approval again, which makes sense. You can't get your campaign approved and then change things and then go live, and then it's like, wait a minute, you broke the terms of services. You changed it. So every time you make a change, it has to get approved again. I wasn't thinking. So we changed the picture of the coin to the actual picture instead of a computer mock-up. And it needed to get approved, but I panicked. I was like, oh my God, I'm launching today. It's Friday and I'm launching. It was lunchtime at work. Oh my God, I can't believe this. So I panicked and I called Luke, and you could hear the dishes clinking in the background. He was having lunch with his family, and I'm crazy person calling him up, and he's like, oh, okay, John, how's everything going? Blah, blah, just chit-chatting. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, it's fixed. While we were talking, he fixes it, I'm like, wow. And then he's just like, how's everything? And now we're just talking like friends. He's such a good guy. And I say this in all honesty. For those of you who have other comics on other sites, can you call the guy at Indiegogo? Can you call the guy at Kickstarter? Maybe at some point you won't be able to call Luke. You'll call him, and I hope he gets to that point. But right now, that's it. I had a problem. I talked to the guy. So, oh, wow. I didn't know this. This is cool. Thanks for bringing that up. So I want to go on Fund My Comic first. Second off, if you go exclusively, he gives you a better rate. Got to get a better rate. So he's giving me the lowest rate of all the platforms. And then third off, I don't want to compete against myself. So, right now, Fund My Comic. When this closes down, I'll go on Kickstarter. So when Fund My Comic closes down, I'm going to print bag a board, ship everything, and then and then put up Kickstarter, start all over again. So I'm going to treat them as different campaigns, and each one will have unique items. So I'm hoping that if you like my comics, you like my stuff, if at the very least you'll go to Kickstarter to get the variant cover. It's so good. It's so good. And we got Shadowpunk. Shadowpunk has been like even more aggressive than me about promoting my comic. Thank you, Shadowpunk. You're such a good guy. I hope to make enough money to afford Shadowpunk to make a resin miniature figure of all my characters. He's so good. He's so talented. And check out his comic, Shadowpunk. Shadowpunk, send your links to Marcus, and we'll put your links up here. Very few people work at Instagram. Yeah, I know. Supposedly the number is to like a warehouse, like that's not even occupied. I thought this was bad before trying to get a view, but imagine it all. Yeah, yes. All right, so let's. I've been talking for 36 minutes, and I haven't even shown the freaking comic yet. All right, so this is going to be a long one today, guys. All right, so now we got the X-Men 137. Look at this comic. It says 1980 on it. There's the copyright date, and this drives me nuts. If you saw my talk with Jim Shooter, I asked him about this, and you can see Jim Shooter winced. It bothers him just as much as it bothers me. Must Phoenix must die? And Zaktan asked the eternal question, must she? And I know that there's people in this. And David Ennison, he's the dungeon master for his group of Dungeons and Dragon characters. So I'm sure he knows the monster lore. What a Phoenix is famous for? We all seen Harry Potter. Phoenixes resurrect themselves. So we didn't need this whole convoluted story of her coming back. It was built into the name. When you're Batman, darkness. Yeah. When you're Superman, you're super. When you're Spider-Man, when you're Phoenix, your main power should be coming back from the dead. That's what, if your character's name is Hydra, you regenerate. It's just, why did they? I'm a dummy. I thought of it. Why didn't Marvel and all these guys think of it? Oh, Shadowpunk channel. Okay, we got your channel. And he says, we don't have any links right now, working on issue 2. Is there any way anybody could get issue number 1? Do you have an eBay store or anything like that? But here's the links to your channel. And I agree with Marcus. All right, so I'm gonna ignore the chat until I do a couple of pages now. But look at this cover. Look at this. It's so dramatic. Just imagine being a kid and you see this. It sets up there on the moon. Look at the costumes. And I don't know about you, but I love this simple and elegant Jean Grey Phoenix costume. It's stylish. It's cute. It's like retro cool. I just love everything. And then it's drawn by John Byrne. And look at these. It's cool. Okay, so here we open up with one of my favorite characters of all time, the Watcher. And I love the way John Byrne draws him. When I was introduced to the Watcher during the George Perez years, he just looked like a big, tall, muscular guy. But now he looks truly alien. This is the way that Jack Kirby drew him. And I love this. And it's just, I'm going to bring you up to speed. Normally, I hate when they break the fourth wall. Like, Deadpool is not one of my favorite characters. I didn't like that She-Hulk when she broke the fourth wall as much as I like John Byrne. But the Watcher breaks the fourth wall. And if the Watcher doesn't break the fourth wall means he addresses the reader. He knows he's in a comic book. He addresses the reader. That's his gig. And it is brilliant. It is just brilliant. So here we got, look at this double page spread. The Fate of the Phoenix. And then we got Chris Claremont, writer, co-plotters, John Byrne, Terry Austin, Tom Unpronounceable as the letter, Glynis Wynn as the colorist, who is the wife of Len Wynn, Jim Scalacrip, and Louise Jones, editor, Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. Louise Jones later marries Walt Simonson. They're still happily married, and she becomes Louise Simonson. She's in charge of the X-Men, and through her, the X-Men grows from just a bi-monthly comic to a phenomenon. So all these people who say there was no women in comics, that's just exposing your ignorance. John's an anti-fourth waller. Oh, wow, the anti-fourth waller. Issue 7 of Heroic Tales will be Crisis on Infinite Four Walls. And I will have the anti-4 Waller versus the Waller, the fourth Waller. At least the Watcher is kind of, yes, he's supposed to. A powerful alien, and it makes sense to transcend dimensions. Absolutely. I love the Watcher. He's one of my favorites. So now we got all of the X-Men over here. We got Gladiator. We got Empress Leandra. I forget this guy's name. He's like the Viceroy or the Hand of the King. And what's going on? What's going on? Oh, Marcus over here. Marcus is my backup. Or Zekowski. Okay. That's the letter's name. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just famous for mispronouncing people's names. And with my last name, people mispronounce it all the time too. So, it doesn't hurt my feelings. So what's going on? Phoenix turned into the Phoenix, and she was Marvel Girl, and then in X-Men 101, she transformed into the Phoenix. And then she leveled up. She got more powerful. And then Mastermind Jason Wingard used his mental powers to like influenced her, and it drove her crazy to the point where she became Dark Phoenix. And when she was Dark Phoenix, she flew off into space, and it till this day it's argument. Jimmy, Marcus, all you old time comic books guys, did she absorb the power of that sun, or did she just blow it up in a display of power? Or was it just like not spite, but like just like a conspicuous display of power or whatever? Just did she do it for fun? I still don't understand their motivations, but the bottom line is she blew up a sun that had a planet of sentient beings, and the Dabari, and she killed like 4 billion sentient beings, not human life, but sentient life. And then she came back to Earth, and that world was part of the Shire Empire. They don't take kindly to worlds getting blown up, and they're not wrong. So now they're taking Phoenix for execution. You blew up a planet. Did anybody cry when, if Hitler got executed? Would anybody cry if Mao Zedong got executed? That's what you do with people who blow up races. That's what you do with genociders. We execute them. Even Earth. They're not wrong. And this is one of the things that bother me about the X-Men is they are such emotional thinkers. They're not logical thinkers. Jean Grey, you got the power to blow up planets, and you use that power to blow up planets. I'm sorry, we can't afford to have you around there. So where my sympathies lie. Okay, and then so now Jean Grey, they teleport them, and now they're just like, we gotta kill off Jean Grey. So that brings you up over here. Then we got some Bubblegum. We have Captain Marvel from the planet Hala of the Kree Empire, just showing you that he could defeat the world. He could defeat the Flash Gordon villains with Twinkies because he is a genius. He's a genius. Twinkies overcome all. Fruit pies. Only monsters eat fruit pies. There's a little foreshadowing for my comic, okay? Only monsters eat fruit pies. You'll get that joke in 9 months. All right, so Empress Leandra is stating her case. She's got Kalark. That's his secret identity. That's the Gladiator, who's obviously a Superman ripoff. The Imperial Guard was modeled after like members of the Justice League and members of the Legion of Superheroes. Why? Because Dave Cockrum drew both those comics, and when he took over the new X-Men, he left the Legion of Superheroes. He kind of drew it as like an homage, and then it just became a thing. Just as much as Marvel kind of has a lot of references to DC comics. DC was around first, as I slow my words. So now they're saying she's got to die, and of course Jean Grey's like, why? She's like, you killed an entire planet, and Jean Grey now is sane. She's rational. She's normal. She understands she did a horrible thing, and they're all shocked. They didn't know this. How could they possibly know this? They didn't know this. They're like, did you? Wolverine, like, look at Storm. They're all surprised. They could not accept that their sweet Jean Grey did this, but she did. She did. And like they're explaining, it's not personal. Leandra has ties to the X-Men. She was Charles Xavier's main squeeze at one point. in a very convoluted, retroactive way to bring back Charles Xavier, which is one of those fun things about comics. And they're gonna kill her. They're gonna kill her. And make no mistake, this guy right here, Gladiator, is one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. He could take out the X-Men by himself, but they're presenting their case. They're not bad people. They're doing what they need to do. The X-Men, this is a jurisdictional dispute. You know what I mean? Like the Russian police get to come into the United States and arrest a criminal hiding out. Well, we do if we have extra geek. So legally, can they do this? That's for philosophers to decide. But she blew up a planet. You know where my sympathies lie. I'm justice. So Xavier raises his hand. He uses his intimate knowledge of the Shi'ar Empire to say nonsense. Jean Grey, which is fluent Shi'ar. Sounds gibberish to us, but it's fluent Shi'ar. And he challenges to a duel of honor. And we got thought balloons over here. She's like, Charles, you wonderful fool. She loves him. He loves her. That he invokes the duel of honor. It cannot be denied. So it's pretty much like a medieval battle of knights. We're gonna defend our champions. And I love this. We got the Shi'ar and the classic Flash Gordon costumes. I gotta show that. That is awesome. And then we got the Skrull. And for those of you who know, the Kree and the Skrull are ancient, racial enemies that hate each other. Now we got the Supreme Intelligence, the leader of the Kree. We got the Empress Kirill, or Raquel, which is like Raquel. The leader of the Skrulls. They say yes. Even ancient enemies are like, we got an Earthling. Earthlings are always trouble. And now they have the power to blow up planets. We got to deal with this. So the Supreme Intelligence orders the Kree, and she orders the Skrull to team up and help out the Shi'ar. So I love I love this global politics. I just love this, and I will attempt to do this comic book. It is very influential to my comics. I will attempt. There are space aliens, there are global politics, but we're dipping our toes in slowly. That's why it's so important to that I make enough money to fund issue 2, and going forward, it's fragile, but that's the only way I could do it. Unless I hit the lottery, then everybody gets the comic for free. But anyway, the Skrull doesn't want to fight with his enemy, and she says, "Knock this off. This is a matter of survival," and she ain't wrong. And then we're gonna fight all the X-Men. We're gonna fight for our fight now. Who's right? Who's wrong? We got 25 people watching this. Do the Shi'ar and the Kree and the Skrulls, three enemy empires. This is the Romans and the Carthaginians and the Parthians all teaming up to say that this person did something wrong, and that person did do something wrong. And what do we do? And then the X-Men are like, no, we don't care about your laws. We don't care about genocide. We don't care about evil. We care about our feelings. We like Jean, so she can kill planets, and we're going to fight to defend her. So now they're going to have a fight to the death against the Imperial Guard. And I love this at noon. So they all have these moments of reflection. Just such a good comic. Look at this wonderful design. Jean Grey is like, did I do this? I have vague memories. I was not in my right mind. So basically, the X-Men are making a case for she's not guilty for reasons of insanity, which ain't wrong either. That ain't wrong either. This is a good comic, a moral quandary where both sides are correct. Both sides are correct. So they can't sleep. They're like me the night before I launch a comic book. They feel like they have to poop all the time. They can't enjoy food. And I love Nightcrawler. It's just each person is having a moment of introspection and reflection. Angel over here, they're talking like, what do we do? They got all the original X-Men. They got the new X-Men together, except Iceman. Iceman's the only one who's not here. We got Wolverine. He's all naked, walking around, taking showers. And he's just like, this is, he's admitting that he has feelings for Jean Grey, and, She killed people, and he's saying, I understand. Jean Grey became a predator, and we have to take her out, but she's my friend. So Wolverine is like the wild side of him understands that she's just a hunter who goes out and kills, and that's what hunters do. And then the rational human side of him saying, there's justice and people need, So what does he do? He sits down, he does the yoga. Beast is over here scrubbing his fur, and then Beast is like, even if she was Satan herself, he says she has a right to due process. I like Beast's point of view. He's like, if she's guilty, she'll die. But to just execute her without due process, to me, Beast is the guy who's got it right. He's like, everybody else is emotional. He's the scientist. He's like, we can't, I think she's guilty. I don't want her to die, but there needs to be due process. That is excellent. That is excellent. And then he has sexy alien girl going to give him a massage. So there we go. And that you get a sexy alien girl give you a massage because you make the most rational argument. Then we got Colossus. And Colossus is he's so big and strong. You forget he's only supposed to be like 21, and he's just like, she's my buddy. She's my girl. That's Jean. She's my friend. I'm going to fight for her. I'm going to fight for her. And then of course, Storm, she's uncomfortable because she's enclosed. She's in space. Ironically, she's in space where there's infinite space, but she's in a ship. So she's contained. And so her claustrophobia is acting up. And she's like, I just love how beautiful. Nobody draws Storm like John Byrne. This is just great. And of course, Cyclops is ready to take out everybody. He's in love. This is basically his wife. At this point, they're ready to get married. This is who he wants to spend his life with. He's like, I'm fighting. There's no question. And then Jean Grey comes out in her not her original costume, her original unique costume. This was her graduation costume. The original X-Men had the black and yellow costumes, and then when they graduated, they got individual costumes. I love this costume. It's just classic. Look at this. They're doing the lovey-doveys, And I love this insect-looking ship. And I've been ignoring the comments. I'll just address these 2 pages, then I'll look at the comments. And everybody says we're gonna fight. If we're gonna fight to save our buddy. Now the only the Beast argument is a battle by combat due process. That's not due process. That means bullies could get away with murder. You know what I mean? I killed your mother, and then I'm stronger than you. I kill you. Yay, I win. So, I as much as I sympathize with the Beast out of all of them, in my way of thinking, due process. Without due process, we're barbarians. This isn't due process, but this is aliens, and it's comic books. So they're teleporting down, and look at her. She's sad. She loves the X-Men. This is a good ruler. She's an excellent ruler. She's doing the dirty, hard work that needs to be done. A planet in her jurisdiction was destroyed. There must be consequences. I love this man. I love these people, but just because I like you doesn't mean she's a just ruler. And the same with the trial of Reed Richards. So let's address the comments. Let me scroll up. Where are we? Okay. Newsprint is so effective with comics. I have to agree with you. I wanted to make my comic on newsprint. The first person I approached was Peter Samedi of Alterna Comics. I'm gonna bust his chops. I'm gonna be on his channel. I'm gonna bust his chops. I hope, guys, back my comic 6 times. Let's get it to $12,000 by next week. So when I get on Peter Samedi's channel, I can rub it in his face. Go, you could have had this. No, but Pete's protecting his company. He thought the Patriarch was too much like Superman, and he doesn't want to get a lawsuit. I don't think that would have happened, but that's his company. And you know what? Now it's all mine. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Gladiator is such a cool character. Another aside, Jimmy, when we were kids in junior high school, he made up a Gladiator-inspired space alien villain turned hero. Jimmy, what was his name? The Overlord. He even had the mohawk and everything like that. Look at all these characters moving, not standing still. Yes. Well, we had a couple of pages of contemplation, navel gazing, literally navel gazing, and now we got the action. Yes, but even when they're thinking these heady things, we got Nightcrawler doing. Why? Because it's a comic books and they're superheroes. They should be moving. You're absolutely right, Marcus. There must be trillions of suns with no intelligent people. Yeah. So Phoenix knew what she was doing. She's telepathic. And when she was Dark Phoenix, she was ultimately She knew she was killing people. She knew she was wrong. Good point, Marcus. Marcus always has good points. Shadowpunk says Cockrum designed the Imperial Guard. Yes, he did. Dave Cockrum is one of the unsung heroes of comp. He designed the Imperial Guard. He designed the Legion of Superheroes, the newer costumes, and the X-Men, the new X-Men. Great costume design on Dave Cockrum, you know. And Earthlings are always trouble. Earthlings are always trouble. And read future issues of Heroic Tales. You will see that is still the truth. Jimmy knows what I'm talking. That drawing of Jean is so good. I don't know which particular drawing you're talking about, but I will agree that all the drawings of Jean Grey is the reason why all comic book fans love redheads. You know, let's Jean Grey and Mary Jane, right? Excuse me. I think they were detached from her actions because, yes, they didn't know. They didn't know that Jean did that. She went off, flew into space. They just took it as a breather. Oh, okay. And then she came back fighting them all. They didn't know that she went out and blew up a planet. This is how they found out. I've always enjoyed that dynamic that the X-Men have to defend Jean Grey even though she's guilty. Yes. As a kid, I was just like, you know, children have like an arch sense of justice, black and white. You know, they you know, that's why kids are always like, this isn't fair. And then you have to go, life isn't fair, kids. And then you tell them, you know, the justice system has to be whatever. So as a kid, I thought the X-Men were flat out wrong. And now as an adult, I'm realizing that the government, whatever government you want, you know, the Shi'ar government, the whatever government, that government is executing somebody without due process. And to me, that's why Beast comes out as the best motivated out of all these people. Now, this is Alien, and their due process is trial by combat, which to me is not, again, you already told you how that just means the bullies get to do what they want, you know. But yeah, that's, to me, this story becomes even better because it's a story about like big government. Literally, they control a galaxy. You know, big government first, you know, could they just impose tyranny and authoritarianism on people without due process? Because, you know, execution without due process is tyranny. So, again, Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Terry Austin. What do we got here? Claremont must have got paid by the word. Yes, he's very verbose. Very verbose. Chris Claremont. I am the anti-Chris Claremont. I've been accused of having too little words in my comics. So I'm, you know, the artwork is done, and we didn't start the lettering yet. I'm giving the script a rewrite to match because Renzo changed a couple of panels around because he's a phenomenal artist. So I got to read. So I'm using that to see, is there a better way to eloquate some of these things? Let's be clear. Jean's not guilty. The Dark Phoenix, yes. And this is the force they have to deal with. Yes. And to me, that removes all agency and importance of the story. I hate the Phoenix Force. This should be Jean Grey. She goes the power. Shadowpunk, you're 100% right. But at this point, there was no Phoenix Force. At this point, it was Jean Grey. The Phoenix Force destroys the importance and everything about this particular comic. I cannot understate how much I hate the concept of the Phoenix Force, and I'll probably pontificate on that later. Don't you have an old post called "The X-Men Deserve Persecution"? I absolutely do, and I stand by every word in that post. I will put a link to that particular post on my thread for you guys to read. I wrote it 20 years ago. The X-Men deserve persecution. You know, we just want to be treated like everybody else, but we also want to be judge, jury, and executors. We also want to, you know, rescue Magneto in X-Men 200, and you know, because you know, we don't believe that you have the right to judge us, but we want to be treated like everybody else. The X-Men are the worst ambassadors of mutant kind. Good morning. Sarag was the name of Jimmy's character. I couldn't remember the name. that was inspired or basically ripped off. The one thing I remembered, he could breathe in space, and we explained it that he had a plant growth in his lungs artificially, and like he swallowed these plants that took root in his lungs. So as he's breathing in oxygen, the plants took in the carbon dioxide and just made this internal atmosphere inside his lungs so that he could breathe in space. 14-year-old boys, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Hiya, chat. Hiya, Grey Wolf. Thank you for coming. Mortal Rising Comics. Thank you. A lot of comments. The Overlord was when I killed off a bunch of my PCs, so he made up an ultra powerful PC. He eventually flew off to space. Was so powerful. He created a planet. And yes. The Overlord. A couple of Jimmy's characters died, so I was like, you know what? Let's make a super powerful character. I think we just said he has 15 powers, because normally in V&V you have like 6 powers at the most. So we made him to be super powerful, and we made him to have a limited shelf life. And I thought it was a fun experiment. That's one of the things I like to do, is experiment with scenarios and things like that. RJ William, a new name. Thank you. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. I heard I've had canon of Nexus versus Phoenix. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I would love to see Nexus teaming up with like Dreadstar or Warlock. Oh yeah, that to me is awesome. Worst ambassadors. What about Stargate One showing up to new planet? Your gods are false. Yes, but yes, that is true. They never heard of the Prime Directive in Stargate One. You're absolutely right. So let's get to this page now. Thank you. Geez, I've been talking for an hour and I'm on page 17. All right, this is gonna be a long one, ladies. Buckle up. So here they are they get teleported down to the blue area of the moon. Now, the blue area of the moon is the area where the Watcher lives. Forgive me for wiping my eyes. It is a mysterious area. It's a crater with its self-contained atmosphere. It doesn't have gravity, as you'll see, but it has self-contained atmosphere. So it has living. And then they later on said it was a Kree outpost. I just love all of that deep lore in Marvel. It was a Kree outpost made in prehistoric times. The Kree were already interested in humanity because humanity has the ability to mutate, and the Kree are they're stagnant. They don't change. They don't evolve. They don't So the Kree are there's a war of attrition with the Skrulls, and the Skrulls had the advantage because the Skrulls could mutate and change and shape change and do all this stuff. So the Kree went looking for other subjects. They found humans. They put a station, a laboratory on the moon, and they would abduct humans and transform them. And they created the Inhumans, Black Bolt, and blah 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 blah. I love all of that. So they're like, wow, look at that, we're on the moon. Blah 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 blah. So they see the flash of light of the Imperial Guard, Wolverine, and I love this. Angel goes in flying, and because of the low gravity, what is the Earth? The moon has 1/6 the gravity of the Earth. He flies and propels himself beyond the protective barrier of the crater, and he wasn't ready for that. Storm has to rescue him as he passes out. It's just so good. He's embarrassed over here. I love the body language. Colossus, they're already. So what do? They split the team. Come on. Dave, you're a dungeon master. Jimmy, you play role-playing game. Don't split the party. Ta-da! They split the party. Why? That's a comic book trope. That's a comic book trope from way back. From the Justice Society, DC back in the 40s. That they had this team of gods, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, the Flash, and then they split them up and do hokey things. It's just a comic book tradition. So they split the party. I love when my players do that. Yeah, that means it's easier for the total party kill. Dave, have you ever had a total party kill? I've come close. I've come close, but I never did it. And it was Jimmy's fault. Jimmy, it was Utensil. You almost killed the party, not me. I told you what would happen if you roll a 20, and Jimmy rolled a 20. We got Devil Flyer on Fund My Comic. Check out Devil Flyer. Dave loves when parties split, so now they split. So I love this. You got Storm, Wolverine, and Colossus. To me, they're the heavy hitters of the X-Men, and we got Angel. I like Angel, but let's be realistic. He's never he's not the most powerful. Nightcrawler, cool. Everybody loves Nightcrawler. Cyclops is a heavy hitter. So we got the weak team and the strong team. Also, keep in mind, Storm's powers aren't as powerful on the moon because this atmosphere, I'm going to say that the blue area of the moon is the size of Chicago. Okay, so she only has the atmosphere of Chicago to manipulate instead of the atmosphere of the Earth. So look at that fire. We got what's his name, Starbolt, and so this is supposed to be Sunboy. Oracle is supposed to be Saturn Girl, and then I can't remember this character. I don't know who she's supposed to be, but we got Smasher, who's like supposed to be we got Smasher over here, who's like Mon-El or Ultra Boy. So they're toast. The X-Men are toast. The X-Men are outclassed. Oh, so you almost had a total power kill. You say with me. I think I had 1 or 2 players actually survive. They're going down here, and then we got War Star. And I think I don't know who War Star's supposed to be in the Legion of Superheroes, but I'll say he's like Block, and then he's got this little secondary character that pops out. So I love that picture. Colossus just hits him right in the breadbasket. Look at that. That's just awesome. Look, I love the organic lines that John Byrne draws. You can see the debris in the floor. Nothing is quite stable. They're crunching through. You can almost hear it, and I just love these organic lines. I love John Byrne. John Byrne and George Perez are my 2 favorite. Right now, John Byrne is my favorite because I'm looking at John Byrne. If I was looking at George Perez, he would be my favorite. That's how close they are, And I love this. The Beast is just rolling around, and Wolverine pops up the claws, and then game over. Gladiator shows up. He just rips apart the wall. Gladiator he's Superman. He's Marvel's Superman. Marvel has a few Supermans. They have a Hyperion. I love Hyperion. That's such a great name. Hyperion, Gladiator, and Blue Marvel, who I hate. And I know everybody, he's black. No, because they introduced him in 2012, and then said he was the greatest superhero ever. You don't get you got to earn that gravitas. When Spider-Man debuted, he wasn't the greatest superhero. Time, popularity, great stories, mythology, legend made him the greatest superhero. Same with Wolverine. Wolverine was nobody until he wasn't. You can't just. That's like, okay, I'm going to make up a comic book tomorrow. Okay, the Patriarch is the greatest superhero ever. He's better than Superman. He's better than Nightcrawler. He's better than Storm. He's better than Wolverine. And that's just the way. I don't get to say that. You guys get to say that, after years of building up gravitas. So I don't like the Blue Marvel. I love the Sentry. I don't like what they've been doing with the Sentry lately, but the Paul Jenkins original run of the Sentry, he was Superman, but he wasn't. It was very clever. With that fake hoax. I guess all hoaxes are fake. But anyway, let's get back to this. So now they get to Earthquake over here. I'm called Earthquake, which always makes me laugh. Why would there be an alien from another galaxy called Earthquake? He should just be called Quake, or Matter Quake, or just Quake. And I love it. So he quakes up everything, and Wolverine gets tossed into this crystalline structure. She freaks out. Thoughts blasted away Earthquake. And then Hussar. I don't know if there's an equivalent of Hussar. And I just, anybody know what the word Hussar means? I've always wanted to look it up, and I never did. Earthquake blasts her. She's taken out. I always call this the John Byrne effect. Let me bring it up. The John Byrne effect. But I've since learned that it's the Neil Adams effect. Neil Adams created this when she's using her psychic powers. So I just love this fight. Note that Nightcrawler is doing nothing. Poor Nightcrawler. So Smasher just beats the crap out of Angel and throws him. So now Nightcrawler has to go, Smasher is like a ripoff, an homage of Ultra Boy, or, so he even has like a very similar chest symbol. So Ultra Boy has the strength of Superman. So look at this. This is just, he's got to go save his buddy. And I love this. Now, Wolverine is now in the chamber of the Watcher. Keep in mind now, Wolverine is a cool character, but this is right when he started to take off. When he went solo against the Hellfire Club is the beginning of Wolverine as like the most cool, powerful not powerful, but cool character. So this is him, like Wolverine went like this, and then all of a sudden he just took off like exponentially. So right over here is right when he's taking off. He sees the Watcher, and the Watcher he has this automatic defense. He's getting transported into time. He's getting transported into the future. Don't mess with this. This is too dangerous for you. This isn't the Watcher doing this. This is like the Watcher's home defense, and it kicks Wolverine out. And it messes with Wolverine. Wolverine is super grounded in reality, that when all of the stuff just shows you that reality is plastic. And the only other time Wolverine got freaked out so bad was with Proteus. It messed him up to the point where Wolverine was like, he was done. He had post-traumatic stress disorder. He was freaking out. And then Cyclops pulled him out of it. Cyclops does not get enough credit. I love Cyclops. Hussar, isn't that cavalry? Yeah, it's heavy cavalry. Yeah, Hussars were heavy cavalry. Why are aliens named after like Prussian military? It's just one of those comic book things. Hussar is a Hungarian light horseman. Why is a Hungarian term used for a space alien team? Comic books from the 15th century. Yeah, that's like I am the hoplite name for a guy from an alien world. A double page issue that Byrne Austin drew on a monthly schedule, having to change the end. Yes, absolutely, Marcus. So now Storm finds Wolverine. Storm starts massaging Wolverine's thing. And I love this. This shocked the hell out of me as a kid. He grabs Storm and just throws her. Why? Because the scent is wrong. These shape-changing Skrulls are sneaky. They're devious. But they can't change their smell. And only somebody named Wolverine with sense of smell. And I love this. He's ready to do some murdering over here. This is murdering. Look at that. That is just murder. Murder pose. Me and Jimmy used to, when we played, we used to joke around head chop off position. That's murder position. And then Blaster-Rooney. And then this smug Kree retro costume that is just awesome. That is an awesome costume. Awesome costume. Just saves the Skrull who the Skrull is not going to suffer this ignominy and transforms into this abomination to take out. And he's just like, whoops, that didn't go right. I didn't play. And then we cut to Wolverine dealing with Oracle. Is that? Oh, Manta. So I guess Manta is like the White Witch, I guess. Just so cool. And again, why is she named after a human terrestrial creature? Manta, you know what I mean? And just look at that. Simple, elegant costume. John Byrne is awesome. Manta, he doesn't know that she has some sort of heightened senses. And I love this panel. She takes him out with this. Who it is that? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but that's cool. She just takes him out. And he's there. And then they have these Princess Leandra. This is supposed to be a fight to the death, so she's actually interfering. These little things come and they're rescuing people when they're defeated. She doesn't want them to die. She likes, so she's altering the bargain in a positive sense. So now we got Colossus. Colossus is fighting War Star over here. The Beast is fighting the miniaturized one, and Gladiator's just watching. Gladiator's just watching. He's honorable. He could just end this. He could just end this now, but it's kind of like the Justice League. Do you need anybody else in the Justice League when you got Superman? So he's just like, all right. So Colossus now has the upper hand. So he intervenes. Look at that panel. Just punches Colossus. Colossus, good farm boy. He's like Logan Effling. He's a good farm boy. I love this. He smashes this pillar over him, and he's just standing there. I gotta bring this up. Look at that. And then look at this. Look at that. That is comics. That's comics right there. And then they're just battling so much that they oblivious to the destruction of these immemorially old ruins. Oh my God. Oh, I love this freaking comic. Torchbearer Studios, how you doing? Byrne was so good. Yeah, he's still drawing. You go to his website, Byrne Robotics. He's drawing X-Men comics. He's forgive me while I scratch my back. He's drawing X-Men comics. and he's giving them away for free, to the point now I think Marvel is offering him money to buy them, to publish them. I go check it out. It's like the continuing stories of the Byrne era X-Men. The Kree costume was created by Gene Colan. Yes, in I forget what comic it was. I think it was Marvel Superheroes number 15. Cyfreak, who's a member of the channel, I'll be remiss. Like, subscribe, and you can super chat me. If you super chat me, that money goes to me, and it goes to making comic books. It doesn't go to buying cheeseburgers, and we'll keep that lie going. Okay, we'll keep that lie going. It does not go to me buying, super chat. I feel like such a cam whore when I say that, but you can hit that little $ and send me money. I'll take off my clothes. How's that? I like when writers use real words that are obscure but represent cool stuff. There are many planets in fantasy that are named after real but somewhat obscure. Yes. Jimmy knows that I have an alien race that has like an Imperial Guard homage, but I tried to use alien words, and the alien words, when they translate into English, they're kind of obscure. I'm trying to think of one of them was now they're all written down and I can't think of them, but the one of them, like there's a Wonder Woman ripoff. She is this space alien race that I created. They're dying out. They're dying out. They're what's happening is there's males, there's females, and then there's a third neutral race, kind of like bees, like a sexless, genderless race of neuter. There's neutered bee, and unfortunately for them, the Movians, that's the name of the race. The Movians, more and more births are resulting in neutered, so they're true. They're not even hermaphrodites because they don't show the signs of either race. They show they have no capacity to breed. So their race is dying out. And through comic book lore, they're able to breed with humans because spoiler alert, they are humans from ancient civilizations that left Earth and colonized space and then changed to adapt to their situations. They're now coming back and abducting human females. Superheroes have to fight them. That will be a story. Spoiler alert. So they formed a team, and their top female is a Wonder Woman archetype, and her name translates to Earth to Mother of Mysteries. Wonder Woman, Mother of Mysteries. And then their Batman guy, as Jimmy reminded me, he's Darkfighter. That's how his. So, I can't use. I assume every race has a word for fighter, and every word has a word for dark. So he's Darkfighter. He's basically Alien Batman. And Alien Batman, Darkfighter, he has Robins that are called the Comet. And the Comet has come to Earth in one of the adventures, in my comic too. And it's pretty much assumed that he has already conquered the Earth, and we are now living under the rule of the Comet, and nobody knows. And that's how, when Alien Batman sends his agents, by the time you know about it, it's already too late. That will be a story that I can't wait to tell. Jimmy, I can't wait to tell that story. I know I've collected them and had this custom bound and printed. These comics, Byrne is so influential. Absolutely. That will tank a species. Yes. So the Movians are panicking. They're dying out. And I have politics for them. The Movian Empire, they are my ripoff of the Kree. Changed significantly. They are ruled by the military. They're ruled by the church, and then they're ruled by the three houses of the church, the military, the merchants, and they set up like this triumvirate, and then they all pay homage to the emperor, and then the Hierophant is the religious figure, and then the Guild of Merchants. So there's this strong impure, like think of like the Imperix from Warhammer. Then there's the Hierophant. Think of like a dark space alien religious figure. Oh my god, he's terrifying. And then the merchants, who are more realistic. We got to make profits. So they rule with the council of like an oligarchy. I'm afraid Twitter won't like this. Won't like what? Won't like what? This thread? This video? Did I say something? Did I do something? Don't scare me. I'm scared. So again, we got this. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And then look at this. So cinematic. We just see this dark figure, and Colossus, Gladiator rises. And then we got Xavier, who's watching everything, just heartbroken. And look at Leandra's face. Look at Leandra's face. Just wonderful, wonderful acting that John Byrne is drawing. Wonderful. Just so good. Just so good. And then I love this. They're talking about the nature of their relationship. They're talking about the future. They're talking about the consequences of their actions while he's shooting laser beams. You could do it all. You could talk about the stuff. You could explore your feelings. But this is a comic book. By God, shoot a laser beam when you're telling a woman you love her, right? Right? Jimmy, you're married. You've shot a laser beam at Karen when you told her that you loved her. You know, I know that, you know. And now what do? They find a little alcove. You know, they're exhausted. She pulls up all the dirt and dust and hides themselves. She's using her telepathic abilities to shield their thoughts, and they're hiding. And what are they doing? They're catching their breath. They're catching their breath. They just need a moment. So good. And then they drop the dust, and they're ready to go out. And he's like saying, I'm going out with you. This is Thelma and Louise right here. They know that they're going to die. They know it. They can't win. But their love is, this is Romeo and Juliet. They're going to go out. You know, they're going to go out fighting. Oh, my God. This is so good. Hey, Devil Flyer momentum. I backed your comic. And Haldir and Marcus, the battle of the two greatest moderators of all time. They already got your threads up there. I backed Devil. This is a guy that loves comics. I cried when Jean died. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So they go out there. They're the only ones left. Got Jean Grey. She's using Smasher over here. He's shooting laser beams. Oh my God. This is just comic books, ladies and gentlemen. The rest of the Imperial Guard is showing up. Look at this wonderful storytelling. So we got just picture a camera pulling out. You know, for the most part, I say that comic books are theatrical rather than cinematic, but this comic is cinematic. There's no way you're doing this on a stage. Look at this. So we got them fighting over here. Then the camera pulls back. The rest of the team is flying. Then we pull back. You can see the explosion. The sun's rising over the moon horizon. Then we pull back, and we see the moon over here. We see Earth rise over here. We pull back more, and there's the ship. And then, blam! Blam! The ship is under attack. Blam! What's going on? You know, we got the Captain Kirk. The Enterprise shakes. Everybody. Leandra's like, what's going on? And he's like, what's going on? Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do if you do this, we're putting the whole Earth. And what's happening? Jean Grey is freaking out. She's turning into the Phoenix. So she's manifesting her power again. She's powerful enough to blow up suns. You know, even with his eyes covered and his face covered, you could see the horror and shock. And Xavier's like, dude, you know, and he's a good guy. What does he do? He realizes the biggest threat. He's not shooting beams at Jean Grey. He's distracting her. If she blows up the queen, the empress of the, that's it. That's war. And Earth will not survive. So he's Jean, don't do this. She's freaking out. You know, Storm is what's going on? And then what does Storm do? She's using her powers to distract you. You know, the X-Men, as much as I say they deserve persecution, you know, they don't want to see the Earth blow. You know, they're like, what's going on? We got the reverse fastball special. Because of the light gravity, Wolverine is able to grab Colossus, and he throws Colossus. You know, because let's face it, if Colossus throwing Wolverine, instead of being punched in the face, Jean Grey would have been stabbed in the face. That would have been the end. Look at this. It's just great storytelling. Instinctively, the team understands what needs to be done. And that shock to the head, look at that. It brings her back to her senses, you know. Let's face it, guys. We've all had these crazy women in our lives. You gotta slap them in the face to bring them back to their senses. You know, women, probably on her monthly cycle, if you know what I'm talking about. And now she's like, kill me, kill me. And now they're just like, a moment ago they were fighting her, and now they're like, no, this is Jean. She's running off. She's running, and she uses her telekinesis. Look, her costume's turning red again. She's like, this will happen again. This will happen again. You got to kill me. You got to kill me. And you can see her face is transforming, and she activates this ancient weapon, and boom, she kills herself. She's reduced to ashes. And even as a kid, I was like, she's coming back. She's Phoenix. They rise from their own ashes. You don't need to create the Phoenix Force. Look at this. Look at these words. You know, Cyclops is getting smaller and smaller as his word balloons are getting bigger and bigger. Oh my God. You know, and thus they're in. And now we pull back the Watcher, who was talking to us. Psych. He was talking to the Recorder. So he wasn't breaking the fourth wall, but he was, you know. I just love that. So the Recorder is an alien construct from the planet Rigel. The Rigelians are from a low gravity world that evolved these big heads and tiny necks. They can't exist anywhere. Their body structure can't withstand normal gravity, normal to us. So they don't explore space. They send out Recorders, and the Recorders explore space, and then whatever, they come back and download that information. So this Recorder just hangs out with the Watcher. So we have the Watcher and the Recorder. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. And the Watcher explains everything that happened. And we have the end of one of the greatest comic books ever produced. And if I make a comic book that's 100th as good as this, I will consider myself successful. Hey, Devil Flyer. I love the friendliness. I love the camaraderie. I love the fact that Devil Flyer, who has a comic out now, is cheering me on. I'm cheering Devil Flyer on. Why? Because it's about this. It's not about me. And I think problems arise when we forget that it's about comics and make it about the people. As I like you guys. I love you guys. I hope you like me. But it's about this. It's about the art form. It's about my favorite medium of all time. I could hear the theme song in my head from the X-Men cartoon. Redheads. You know it. You know it. I dated a redhead in college. Her name was Paula. She'll never see this. She was a redhead. And when I saw her, I remember it was a beautiful Albuquerque sunny day, and I'm walking through the quad at college, and I turn around and I see her, and I literally saw a red light. Boom. Everything. A red light warning me, stay away from this girl. But redheads, am I right? I didn't listen. Disavow. Forget what I said. Snap out of it, Gene. I've never looked at it like that. It was a very 50s snap out of it. Yes. Rising tide and all. Yes, you're right, RJ. Redheads are my kryptonite. Redheads are everybody's kryptonite. I don't care who you are. Sexy redhead. Oh my God. And there you go. That's one of the greatest comics of all time. And now I will address what I've been saying. Your name is Phoenix. You got burnt to ash. You come back to life. That's what the Phoenix does. So to me, the Phoenix should be, and in my head, I know it's crazy, but you know, if your name is Phoenix, you get to die and you get to come back. You get to explode in your own ashes. It's poetic. It's beautiful. I wonder if Len Wein and Dave Cockrum originally thought of this, but note that Chris Claremont didn't create the Phoenix Force. That was John Byrne. To me, that was John Byrne's biggest fumble, was the Phoenix Force. It removes all agency from Jean Grey. It removes built-in drama. She comes back to life. You can't stop her. She is going to come back to life. You could scatter the ashes, but all it does is delay the inevitable. She's reborn. She's sweet. She's beautiful. She's innocent. She's weak. She powers up like a meter. It's just a ticking clock before she turns into Dark Phoenix again and does horrible stuff again, and then dies. Boom. We're safe. And then it's just built in. It's built into the concept. It's like Spider-Man not clinging to walls, you know. And then they create this Phoenix Force that was just convoluted and nonsense. How? Why? It to me, it is one of the greatest mistakes in comics. So there you go. I've been talking an hour and a half. And as per usual, I will keep talking if the comments keep going. But when the comments die down, I'll stop talking. So anybody have anything to say? Anybody want to tell me I'm crazy? Anybody want to say the Phoenix Force was the greatest thing in the world? And John, you're nuts. Anybody want to super chat? Anybody want to do anything? Having my first comic art auction today. Send in the link. Send the link. If you got a link. I will comment for the next 4 hours. Well, then I'll talk for the next 4 hours. I'm not even telling like this, but I'll do it. You're crazy. No, you're crazy. What comic is next week? I'm thinking. I was thinking of doing Fantastic Four. The first appearance of Galactus in the Silver Surfer. So was that 49, 50, and 51? That's what I'm thinking. Can we get some chats? Let me know what you think. Agent Zero is laughing at me or he's laughing at somebody, but the bottom line is he's laughing, and that means he's having a good time. I'm nuts. Yes, I am. I'm absolutely nuts. Hey, Justin, cool. Are you saying cool about my choice of comics next week? So I will. I've been so caught up in the comic. I'm sure everybody can understand that I only posted and announced this last night. I usually like to do my Sunday comics, make the announcement like Sunday afternoon so people could drum up interest. I'm like I'm that arrogant that the people are like, wow, John's gonna do this all week long. But that, you got to do it. It seems to be decided that the Phoenix Force was created by Claremont and Cockrum, which doesn't seem right. I am under the opinion that that Phoenix Force was created by John Byrne because it happened in Fantastic Four, if I remember correctly. The Fantastic Four rescued the Jean Grey in the Jamaica Bay, which is it just sucks. It just sucks. Her name is Phoenix. I will never forgive that. I will never forgive that. I will go to my grave angry about that. Thank you, 64. Yeah. Thank you to Heldia. I got confused, but I'm easily confused. I'm easily angry. I'm easily ranting, and I'm easily going to drink more caffeine because I haven't had enough. I am rereading Byrne's Alpha Flight, so I'm on a major Byrne high. Yeah, John Byrne is awesome. Little sneak peek. I might record this later today. This is John Byrne, one of John Byrne's first comics, Doomsday +1. This is his first full-length, adventure comic. He was also, before this, he did Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch. I did a short video on that, but I will be doing Doomsday +1 because I'm a John Byrne fanatic. I just love him. So either Byrne or Kurt Busiek. Okay. Again, I don't argue with Marcus, So I don't know. Now I'm starting to doubt my own recollection, which is easy to do. Do Marvel and DC Comics exist in the Patriarchs universe? I'm going to say yes. Spider-Man comic books exist, but that doesn't mean Spider-Man is real. But there are Wolf and Batsy comic books. There are Horace H. Hoover comic books. There's a couple of Easter eggs to some of my favorite people. Fabrizio Aiello and Brian Bow were very, very helpful when I first started to do my comic, and they continue to be helpful. So I wanted to recognize that. So if you go to the campaign page, matter of fact, I will. I'm not sharing, so let me fix that before I. There we go. If you go to this page, if you look at this panel, I'm still not sharing. There we go. If you could see the little boy and the little girl have Wolf and Batsy action figures. They have Wolf and Batsy. So yeah. So do they exist? Yes, but I told Brian and Fabrizio that their comics are popular cartoons in my world, and Horace H. Hoover and Wolf and Batsy appear as themselves in my comics, but they're not in my comic. And I'm keeping that vague on purpose. Too bad Vern is such a grouch online. Yes. And your boy Zach, Richard C. Meyer, Diversity Comics Matter, whatever name he goes by. He does tell the true story that John Byrne was known as the world's worst guy in comic books. He was a grouch. He was mean. He looked at me funny when he autographed 17 copies of my X-Men 137. And that was considered bad behavior. And now we have Dan Slott telling fans to go after themselves. Now we have, comic creators telling other fans to eat their ass. Going to beat them in the face with, John Byrne is a saint compared to the way comic book creators are today, except for us. Us here in this field, we are wonderful. We are good people. We are blessed. We have halos. You see this shine? This is God's radiance. Do you have plans for the power grid goes down for 3 days? So do I have plans for when the power grid? Yeah, it's called overtime. I'm an electrician. That's my plan. My plan is a little bit of this when that happens. In all seriousness, do you know something I don't know? And in all seriousness, when I bought this house, I moved because I did not like the way the world was behaving during COVID. So a little bit of survivalist kicked in, and I was like, I gotta get a generator. And my wife goes, "Oh, so we can have power for 4 more hours until we run out of gas?" So I bought a solar power generator. It's fully charged. It's not strong enough to do the whole house, but we could. I could keep the electric boiler running to keep the house. I have these long cables because I get some excellent sun over here. So yeah, and we have like a year's worth of rations stored, someplace in the house. So yeah, I'm prepared, and I got a little bit of a pow pow boom boom sticks. Love burn. So yeah, I think I'll last. Watch, after 3 days, it's like barbarians and cannibals. Charlton lives again. Yes, this is Charlton Comics, a company that I always knew about, and now I've become obsessed with Charlton. And so I'm trying to get. There's too many Charlton comics to just get them all, but I'm getting E-Man, and I'm getting Doomsday +1, and there's a couple other Charlton comics that I'm really liking, and Atlas Comics. Atlas Comics are easy to collect because they only lasted for like a year. Atlas Comics. The Seaford Atlas that came out like 74. Not the 50s Atlas, which was proto Marvel. Check out Heroic Tales, fund my comic. Please, guys, please. I don't want to beg. But I want to do these comics, and I have to, I have to reach like $8,000 to do like issue number 2. Because remember, $8,000 is really $5,000 in my pocket, because three grand is going to go for shipping, and printing. It is what it is. Wolf and Batsy are the best. We are in agreement. And Brian Bow's okay. Wolf and Batsy are the best. Good morning. Do you do EC horror or DC Weird Tales? I haven't yet, and I'm not against it. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. I should do creepy and eerie Warren comics. EC Comics is a glaring hole. I have a few EC comics. I have like no Dell comics. I have no Gold Key comics. Logan Effling was on last night, and he reprimanded me. So I'm not going to go buy floppy issues. They're too expensive, and all my spare money is in making this comic. But if I happen to catch, like, I used to go to garage sales, and I would just pass up Gold Key and Gold Key comics because I wasn't interested. But that will change going forward. If I could get affordable boxes of those comics at garage sales, I will scoop them up. Brian Bow and I met Byrne dozens of times at Mid-Ohio. He was always kind to me and would give his second. Oh, wow. Torchbearer Studios. Are you Brian's buddy? Don't you have a comic called Grunt? I thought I recognized it. Let me know if you're the person I'm thinking of. And if you are, and even if you're not, send me a message. Come on my channel. Let's talk. Tell me embarrassing Brian Bow college stories if you're the person who I think you are. Oh, okay. Yes. Hey, so first off, thank you. Second off, looking forward. You have a comic called Grunt coming out. Brian speaks very highly of you, and Brian's a good guy. Brian has been instrumental in helping my comic. Brian was kind of the sandpaper. He was not a cheerleader. He called it out when I was making mistakes, and I appreciate that. When you're one of 7 kids and you're Italian and Irish, you make up. They call you on it. I moved to conservative country across the highway that didn't close down during the lock. Me too. We got a damn dirty thing on that. That's my buddy Doc Blaylock. So many great people. I wish everybody lived close to me. Oh yeah. I will back your book. Thank you. Will I do a storefront? The answer is if the fans demand it, yes. That is my goal, to have a storefront. I got a garage. I want to make t-shirts. I want to make coffee mugs. I already made pint glasses. I want to make, patches. How cool would it be to get like the laurel leaf patriarch symbol? I want to make t-shirts. Wait till you see Mary Sue's design. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I designed the symbol. That's one of the things I believe in. Every comic book will have like a marketable symbol, because that's what comic books do, And I want to make coins and patches and stickers. I would like to do all that stuff, but I'm a newbie. Let me do a comic book first, and if fans demand it, if it works, if my crazy brain will. I try to get t-shirts. I can't get t-shirts made that look like the purple triangle with the gold trim on a white. I can't find. If anybody knows a good, because I see Ethan Van Sciver making these beautiful Cyberfrog t-shirts and hoodies and everything like that, and I know they're expensive, but I will make one for myself at least. And if anybody wants them, gladly. But if anybody knows a good t-shirt person, let me know. Yes, I want a beer glass. That's the Colorado in me. Yeah. I was like, the patriarch, he's a dad. The dad enjoys a good beer. So I thought the pint glass was a no-brainer. Oh, Thug. What did I say? Grunt. Yeah, it's the Thug. Yes, the Thug, not Grunt. Sorry about that. The Grunt is Dave's character. Yes. Sorry about that. Yeah. I thank you for showing up. Will I go in demand on Fund My Comic? Yes. I will go in demand. You will always be able to buy it on Fund My Comic. That is going to be the home, of Heroic Tales. You dance with the one that brought you, Luke. Luke Stone is doing something important. No political bias, no shadow banning. I like his politics. I like his politics as far as I don't know his personal politics. I don't want to know, and I'll say that you will always be able to get the Pat Broderick cover on Fund My Comic until they're gone, and then but I will do. You have to do unique stuff on each platform, so there will be a unique cover by Michael T. Gilbert on Kickstarter, and there will be a unique cover by Mike Gustovich on Indiegogo, but those will be unique to their platforms. But between me and you, I think when they're done, I'll be able to sell them on my comic or personally. I don't know. I'm whispering like the powers that be can hear. They called the storefront. Yes. Marcus, no link yet, but it is coming. Okay. So there you go, guys. What do you think? Do you think I'm curious? I got listen to my voice. It's just I've been talking. I'm curious. What do you guys think of my thoughts on the Phoenix Force, and as opposed to Jean Grey organically having that mutation? What do you think? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Am I right? Have you never thought of it? But it will bug me till the day I die. Your name is Phoenix. You rise from your ashes. Power meter. It's like a typewriter. You type, and every once in a while you got to bang it back. Subscribe to Torchbearer Studios channel. There you go. Greatest moderators in the world. So it's been a while, and a couple of people tell me I'm terrible at marketing this. So I have no problems telling you about Heroic Tales, the comic. Please, a comic book needs eyeballs, and a comic book needs money. I don't feel like I'm begging. I think I'm offering $10 for a complete story. Nothing against other creators, but I don't want you to have to spend $60 on a comic book story. Comic books are supposed to be affordable. I think $10 is a fair asking price for a small press, which is what I am. Complete story. Every issue will be a complete story, but every issue, like old Marvel, will build upon the next. What do they call that? Episodic storytelling. So it'll be episodic storytelling, but it's not going to be like The Simpsons, where it's status quo is reset and you forget about the last because it doesn't matter. The Simpsons don't remember. So it's building episodic storytelling. Yes, but Phoenix is Rachel Summers. Yeah, they brought back this time travel displaced. To me, that's where the X-Men went off the rails when they got. I don't mind that Bishop came from the future in it because he's a unique character, but I don't like now they got Marvel Girl, they got Jean Grey, they got Hope. I don't like these multiple versions of the same characters all existing. And then they went and they brought the original X-Men back into the team, so you have young Cyclops. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do that, but I'll probably do it as like to show you why it's bad, because I do have a time travel story in the works. It's called, I spoiled it last night, so I'll repeat. I have a time travel story. It's probably going to be issue 6 called Let's Save the Dinosaurs, because Renzo wants to draw dinosaurs. Agent Zero is probably laughing at me, and I don't blame him. So there you go. An hour and 45 minutes. You guys want to keep me talking for 15 more minutes, make this 2 hours? Let's keep the comments going. Oh, so as I was saying, I'm really, really bad at self-promotion. So here's my comic. You can hit like, you can hit subscribe. I got to be a proper YouTuber, and there's a super chat function. What else? Like, subscribe, watch the videos, and do what I do. I put on my longer videos, hit play, and then go upstairs to go to bed because that gets me ad revenue and everything to pay for the comics. Okay, people are leaving, so I guess we'll wind it down now. RJ Williams, thank you for showing up. Torchbearer, when you're ready to come on my channel, let's come on and talk. Yes, sign up for my Substack. I forgot about that. Thank you, Haldir. I have just over 100 emails, and that's just an email list to let you know about what's going on in the future of Longbox Comics. That's going to be the name of my comic company, Longbox Comics, LB Comics, LBC, Longbox Comic. I wanted to have a different name, but it's John's Longbox. That's the brand that I built, and dance with the one that brought you, as I said earlier. So you know what? I'm going to shut this down now. Thanks a lot for watching. This is my favorite thing that I do. I look forward to waking up on Sunday, having a cup of coffee with you guys, just talking about comic books, no politics. I try not to be the Stan Lee and hawk my own stuff, but I've got to. But I keep that to a minimum. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful comic. Marcus says it's a fun show. So that means it is a fun show. Marcus, I don't argue with. So if Marcus says it's a fun show, yeah, and this, how can you go wrong with this comic book? Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. I'll end it now. I just thought of something, and that'll keep me talking for another hour. So thank you. Focus. Thank you. Please consider backing my comic. It's a labor of love. It'll get better and better and build up into your heads can explode. So I promise you head explosions at some time in the future. You're all right. Bye-bye. I'll leave it a goodbye. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good weekend. Yeah. I'll just end there. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.